So with that being said, I want to thank each and every one of you for being here tonight. I will lay down a few more items once we get started, but at this time I'd like to ask Commissioner Shackelford to lead our invocation. I'll ask that you rise.
Gracious God, our Father, we thank you for the gift of this day and all that it brings. Lord, we thank you for this opportunity to assemble ourselves here today. We ask, Lord, that you will bless each and every family that's represented here on today. Lord, that you will bless our great town and all great citizens of this great town. We ask, Lord, that you will keep us in your care. Help us, Lord, to do the things be pleasing in thy sight. Help us to be obedient to your word. Help us to love one another as you have loved us. And Lord, we ask, oh God, that you will forever go with us and stand by us. Keep us in your care. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Commissioner Nelson, if you'd lead us in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well, my family's here and I'm in charge. That's a different thing. I've asked my sister Connie to be here tonight for a very special reason. On our desk, you will find a book that talks about the marketing stats of Farmville. Some years ago, there's no need to water it down because it's the truth. Our town was in big trouble. We were in big trouble, and we did not want to recognize why we were in trouble. And the town had spent thousands of dollars on a survey that told us what we already knew. And then I asked Sister Connie to bring the real estate folks to Farmville and let them discover Farmville and find out exactly what Farmville was all about. And she took it upon herself to bring those agents to Farmville. Farmville became alive. We have over 80 housing permits being permitted in Farmville right now, and I'm really excited about that. And with that being said, I've asked my sister to take 3 minutes and bring the citizens of Farmville up to date on where we are with our housing in Farmville. Connie?
Don't worry about it.
They called me on.
Glad you don't talk back.
Mayor and Commissioner, thank you for the opportunity to come here. We started this journey in 2008. I came to this board in 2012, 2017, 18, and 19. And since that time, we have had several subdivisions come out of the ground to not only extend the tax base for this town, but to also improve the quality of life here that was already outstanding. This board in the years past has done things that other towns mimic now. So thank you for that opportunity. My brother only gave me 3 minutes, so I've given a packet that will give you some statistics that you can look at your own report. In that packet, there will be the last 12 months marketing activity. There will be the current parcels that are in development. There'll be a neighborhood report, and when you read that neighborhood report, I would like for you to notice what the average income of most people in Farmville is. And that's between $75,000 and $100,000. And those
Nelson, would you take an opportunity to introduce my sister to the town of Farmville because she is a Farmville citizen? Connie, if you'll stand and face.
Connie Corey has been a member of this community since the day she was born, I guess. Were you born in Farmville County? Okay, since the day she was born. She is always the first one to come back and offer help when help is needed. I have never posted a Facebook post asking for help for a teacher, a ball team, a kid, anything that Connie's not the first one to say, I'll send you a check right now. And if she's not sending a check, then Alan's showing up with whatever it is that we need. And that's appreciated. But I have a list of things that I would like to read to you all that Connie has accomplished in her lifetime. Coastal Plains Association of Realtors, Realtor of the Year 2020. Designations ABR, C2EX, GRI, SLS. President of RPAC, owner of Garfield Rentals. Her personal awards, she's a breast cancer survivor of a long time. And yesterday was National Cancer Survivor Day, and that's a big deal to anybody that's ever had the disease or has had a family member affected by it. Top Producing Selling Agent 2021 with Aldridge and Sutherland. She is a Coastal Plains Association 2020 Realtor of the Year. Top Producing Single Agent 2011, Aldridge and Sutherland. 2010, Top Producing Agent Aldridge and Sutherland. 2003 to present, she's a Regional RPAC Trustee. 2007 to 2010, National Association of Realtors Director. 2006, to the present, Federal Political Coordinator for Representative G.K. Butterfield, the National Association of Realtors. Federal Political Coordinator for Representative Greg Murphy, National Associations of Realtors. North Carolina Realtor State Political Coordinator for Representative Chris Humphrey and Senator Don Davis. 2003 North Carolina Association of Realtors NCAR President. 2000 North Carolina's Association of Realtors NCAR. 2000 Chamber of Commerce Small Business Leader of the Year. 1995 and 1997 Realtor of the Year. 1992 Manager of the Year. 1994 President's Award for the Greenville-Pitt County Association of Realtors. 1994 to 95 Education Chairman, Greenville-Pitt County Association of Realtors. 1995 State Director of Greenville-Pitt Association of Realtors. 1991 President's Club REMAX. 1987 to 1988 Regional Vice President NCAR. 1988 to 1990 E.B. Jordan $1 Million Roundtable Wilson Board of Realtors. 1989 Citation of Honor Young Career Women's Program. 1995 to 96 Pitt County Farmville Boys and Girls Club Director. Founder and Chairman of the Summer Moore Foundation for United Cerebral Palsy. Member of the Greenville-Pitt County Chamber of Commerce. Member of the Prudential Multi-Million-Dollar Club and Leading Edge Society, and she is a member of the Farmville Chamber of Commerce.
Thank you, Brenda. I have asked a very dear friend of mine, honestly, one of my closest dear friends, the state legislature, to join us tonight. Would you please to be formally welcome, Senator Don Davis?
Maybe. To the council, mayor, community, family. Listening to this background, it makes you know what you're doing. That's what it means. And just to think about this for a moment, for anyone to go within the profession and to truly not only become an expert, but to master it, to think what you're doing is deeply rooted in debt in the earth and drink. That is deeply debt. What you've done for so long, even before you helping kids. It's been truly about being a great American, helping people to enjoy. I'm glad to come and be a part of this and to join something. If I may personally go beyond what we said, it's not just your spirit there's one that is not easily attained, it's not just given away. But it's the highest honor in the state of Illinois. We want you to know that it's not going to notice your work. It's not just about making money, but really trying to charge the policies and how we deal with it. Here on behalf of the government, represent you where it belongs in time. For all of those times that you have advised, counsel, stayed up taking calls, opened up doors and taking calls, just trying to help important to others. It's so good. I want you to know on behalf of the state of Illinois, we are deeply appreciative of every single thing you do these things. Always done. Just spirit. This is not here, up here, but I'll say it in advance. I love it. But if I can read, it says the state of North Carolina, Ward Cooper Governor, imposing special confidence in the integrity, learning, and zeal of County Board employees, I do hereby present and for the order of the Longley Pine, with the rank of Ambassador Extraordinary, privileged to enjoy fully all rights granted to the members of this exalted order, among which is special privilege to propose the following North Carolina, Texas, so they can come anywhere in the free world. Here goes. Here's to the land of the lonely pine, the summer land where the sun does shine, where the wheat grows strong and strong grow great. Here's to down home, the old North State. And let me say to you, Connie, we're going to put your name now in North Carolina history amongst the many greats, such as Billy Graham, such as Michael Jordan and Andy Griffin and Monty Angelo, just so many, Richard Petty, so many greats. And there's one actually right behind us here. My dear friend, the Honorable Mayor John Ward, just so many, just amazing North Carolinians, people that truly paved the way for this state, the great state that it is. Now your name is there. I want to thank you for helping North Carolina, families across this city. Wait, you did. Yes, it is.
All right, thank you, Senator. I'm gonna give you just a second because I know you got to be in Raleigh at 7. So,
No, we're good.
okay, thank you, thank you very much. Thank you. I'm gonna catch my breath so that my family and Connie's, my nieces, great nieces, the whole family, I think they're all going out to eat now, and the granddaddy and the husband Alan is paying. So y'all have fun. Thank you. Thank you. Ollie gave it up. Okay.
Bye.
Thank y'all.
Bye, Marcia.
Thank y'all so much. Board, I thank you for the privilege to do that. That is not the first time that the Order of Longley Pine has been presented in this town meeting, so I thank you for the opportunity to do that. And for those of you that stood, I certainly do thank you for the respect that you've shown for somebody that's done so much for the state of ours. Thank you for that. That brings us down. We'll pick up where we were, and I know there are some changes and deletions. We'll get to that, of course. Next is citizen presentation. Board, people that we have 3 folks that'll be making presentations. You've heard it before. You have 3 minutes. Amy will say time when the time is up. She'll do that when you got about 30 seconds, give you a chance to wrap up. All comments will be directed to the board. There's a good chance that you will not get any response for us, but if it's something we can answer, we will direct you who to talk to, and we'll make for sure that you get with them for the answers. We give no decisions and/or comments during citizens' presentation. So, Amy, are you ready? Amy will say time. First of all is Celia Stone.
Yes, I'm Celia Stone from 3264 North Waverly Street. I've had my head down in my notes for the past 10 minutes, really carefully preparing. Thank you to the Dogwood Festival Committee and volunteers. It was an absolutely terrific weekend. Thank you to our Public Works Department. You are always so good about removing debris and branches after storms, and I appreciate it. To our commissioners, for 2 weeks between the Dogwood Festival and National Day of Prayer, the big tent in front of Town Hall had strings of lights still on, although the tent was no longer being used. The lights in and around the town gazebo were also on. In recent years, the Main Street holiday lights often have been left on night and day. Let's please try to conserve energy, help the environment, and save us taxpayers money. Please put these lights on timers. Speaking of conserving energy, during this fiscal year, $24,000 was budgeted for library utilities. As of today, over $35,000 has been spent. By the end of this month, we will be about $14,000 over. Please implement ways to conserve energy and bring down the utility costs in town-owned buildings. Please budget a more realistic amount for library utilities tonight. At February's audit presentation, we learned that our general fund had a $400,000 deficit. As of today, the town owes $5.2 million for library construction. We have no money left from donations, fundraisers, or grants. How will we pay for this? We owe $460,000 next month for the library loan payment. How will we pay for this? We need to build a new fire station. How will we pay for this? Most of us, many of us I should say, urged you not to build a $5.3 million library. We thought it could have been less expensive. We didn't need such extravagance. We knew the town could not afford $5.3 million. Now you are proposing a 14% increase in our retail water rates, a 10% increase in solid waste collection, a 5% increase in our retail electric, and a 5% increase in our retail sewer. These proposed increases go way, way, way over what would be required to pay for wholesale increases. We do not want to pad town enterprise funds with our high money. We're in big
Thank you, Celia. How much?
We're in big trouble. Many residents are truly hurting financially with current inflation. These utility increases that you are voting on tonight will hurt the poor. Not all of us in Farmville are wealthy or even of modest income. I urge you to consider these people. Please, these huge increases are too much, and I want us to include everyone in our town. Thank you.
Okay. See, I'm sorry I interrupted. I thought it was time. Ms. Gidley. Go.
Okay, first of all, I want to say that unlike Connie, I didn't want to do grand things with my life. I just wanted to be Cinderella and live in a cute little house with a picket fence and have a wonderful husband and go on vacation. And at 32, my dream was taken away, and I lived in poverty. I made $1,100 a month. Praise God above that happened to me because I learned about life. And I learned empathy for others, which I did not have. I was Miss Little Social Butterfly, and I learned when everything was stripped away from me what life was all about. So when we have $480,000 that we have to pay in July, and what do y'all call it? I call it taxes. They call
Judy,
it
address the board, not the gallery.
Rate adjustments.
Address the board, not the gallery.
Rate adjustments. I call it taxes. To me, that's a heck of a lot of money. $80 for gas, $178 for 6 bags of groceries, and I'm on a fixed income. with Social Security and teacher retirement. That's it. I don't have $1 million in the bank. I don't have 500,000. I don't have 100. I don't have any kind of money like that in the bank. My daddy taught me 2 rules, and I think this town needs to learn it. The 2 rules are your wants and your needs. You want things, and you can need things. If you can't afford your wants, you don't have it. We did not have the money for that library, but we bought it anyway, and we borrowed money. This town is not a tobacco town anymore. It's not rich tobacco town. It's an average American town, basically poor and middle class people here. They can't afford $480,000 every year. I live that poverty. I know what in the heck you're talking about. This is absolutely asinine. I'm sorry. Y'all done a disservice to the people of this town. Now, another thing he taught me was responsibility. You need to take the responsibility. Have fundraisers that pay for it. Don't put that on the wing, that adjustment on the backs of the citizens of this town. Have fundraisers to pay for it. There's 6 of you up here. 6 into $4,800 is $80,000 apiece. Pull it out of your own pocket. Or get those other people in town that vote for this to get together and all of y'all split up the cost. This is and I know that's a joke to y'all. I know that's a joke and it's silly, but it's absolutely ridiculous to keep asking the people of this town, this poor little town of Farmville, to pay for something that they cannot afford. That people, and then that go in that library are not rich. Most of them are working. Most of them are working. This is a ridiculous thing, and I'm embarrassed to say that our town did this to the people of this town, because I've been in that position.
Thank you, Jude. Thank you, Ms. Gidley. Thank you so much. Ms. Wilkins, is that right? Denise Wilkins? Denise?
Can I say one thing, John?
No, ma'am.
I love all of it.
Thank you.
That was
Judy, thank you. WILKES, Denise? Is there a Denise here to speak?
I'm here, but no, I don't want to speak.
Okay, I just take your name off. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, folks, for that citizen input. You'll have another opportunity at the end of the meeting. That way you can find out some things that may help you with where you are. At this, I'll bring it down to the town manager's comment. David?
Thank you, Mayor. Members of the board, just got a couple announcements about some events coming up. The May Museum is starting back their, what used to be Saturday in the Park. This year they are going to start a Thursday in the Park series, so they're going to move their event to Thursday night to perhaps attract more people who maybe go out of town on the weekends and miss some of their events. So starting June 23rd, they are having the Thursday in the Park event, June 23rd, July 21st, August 18th, and September 15th, 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. outdoors on the grounds of the May Museum. Similar to what they've had in the past, they have music, food, beverages available. So wanted to point that out to you. We'll have it on our calendar on our website too. Again, June 23rd, July 21st, August 18th, and September 15th. And also we have our Independence Day celebration will be Sunday, July 3rd. Events on the town commons from 6 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. Live music by the Tar River Community Band. They're back this year. Of course, fireworks at nightfall. We have ice cream being sold by Jones Fruit Farm, and Parks and Rec is selling hot dogs, chips, and drinks. So I hope everybody can come out that night. That's all I have. Thank you, Mayor.
Okay, anybody have any questions for the town manager? Jamie, you have any questions? Okay, anybody else? Okay, that'll bring us down to financial report. You got that earlier coming in tonight. Anybody have any questions about the financial report? Jamin?
No, sir.
Okay, anybody else?
No, sir.
That'll bring us down to changes, additions, and deletions. David, I think you've got a change, right, or an addition?
Yes, sir. All of you should have gotten an email from me on Friday concerning discussion that our Parks and Rec director and police chief and I had concerning hours at our city parks or town parks. We are having some problems with late night use that's leading to vandalism, loitering, whatever. And so we do not have any published closing hours, and the consensus is that we would like to make a proposal to the board to consider setting some hours so that we can post them in the parks and all. So I'd like if the board would consider adding that as an item.
Okay, how about I add that as, since we only have item K, how about I label that K2? Will that be okay?
Yes, sir.
You've heard the request. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion that we add that to the agenda as K2.
Commissioner Elks has made the motion. Is there any discussion? Jamie, I'll go to you. All in favor? Jamie, you go first.
I couldn't hear that, and I just abstained from the vote. I couldn't hear the name.
Okay, he'll abstain from the vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? It'll be item K2. Jamie, I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll get David to come over a little closer when we get to that. That brings us down to public hearing. And first is the budget ordinance. The presenter on this will be David, and this is a public hearing. Anyone having any input will have an opportunity to speak. Also, you do not have to register for this. So, with that being said, I now declare a public hearing open to discuss the budget ordinance.
Okay, thank you, Mayor, members of the board. The Board of Commissioners received the budget, or proposed budget, back in your meeting in May, and it has been available for public inspection at Town Hall and also at the library. This public hearing's been duly advertised. The board had also had a budget workshop on the 23rd of May, went through the budget in detail, made several changes. In your packet, there are some changes listed based on actions that were taken or direction that was given in that budget workshop. The net result is the general fund was reduced by $29,170. The electric fund was reduced by $45,000, and there was no change, net change to the water fund or the sewer fund. So those changes are in your packet. The budget as proposed is slightly higher than last year, but it reflects $759,137 times 2 in American Rescue Plan funds. So that is inflating the budget somewhat. As we go through the budget year, those monies are going to be spent and allocated, and so the number probably will go down as far as town funds that we'll be using. There's a couple of new staff positions, or actually 1.5 new staff positions, one in Parks and Rec full-time, half position in the library. There was references to utility rate increases. We have not had a electric rate increase in 10 years plus. We've actually lowered the rates twice. We've not had a sewer rate increase in 10 years. We had a reduction in sewer rates at least once in that 10-year period. The solid waste fee, water fee rates have gone up periodically based on our contract with Greenville Utilities Commission. We purchase water from them part of the year, and they pass on CPI adjustments. Everybody knows with prices going up, the CPI, Consumer Price Index, is extremely high now, so they pass that on to us, and then we have to consider passing that on to our customers. And then the solid waste fee, again, CPI adjustment. What is GFL's biggest cost? Fuel, what's going up through the roof, fuel. So they pass that on to us too. So we're not increasing these rates beyond what it costs us, but we do need to at least try to recoup some. It'd be irresponsible for us to try to absorb these things entirely. So there are unfortunately some utility rate increases involved that reflect the cost of doing business now. Hopefully that will continue in years to come. No tax increase, no other fees increased, not dipping into reserves in general fund, water, sewer, electric funds. We are using some PAL bill funds for street paving and sidewalk work, but nothing out of the ordinary. That's pretty much a good summary of the budget as proposed.
Anybody have any questions of David before I open up the public hearing? David, just one thing. Our fund balance was a strong suggestion that we decided to do when the state asked that we increase the fund balance. And we were only, what, 1.2% or something like that? How much? We were almost there?
We were about 1% below what they said that we needed, but they changed the rules after the.
That's right.
After
So
the year was.
Just to be clear, our fund balance was where we like it.
Right.
And then they made a strong suggestion
Changed the
that
rules. Yeah,
we add to
they
it.
changed the guidelines
Yeah.
late in the year. So.
Right, and of course, I think it's a fantastic thing. So when you hear the fund balance, this was, our fund balance was, they've just added another month to it. So that's a good thing. It just makes sure that we've got an extra month in the bank where they required 3, now they're asking 4. Is that?
4 months.
Okay, all right. This is a public hearing. Anyone wishing to speak at this time, you're more than welcome to come to the board. Can you, okay?
I think we all understand that numbers can be presented in many different ways, and I just want to make sure that we all are on the same page, or at least really try to be honest about this. I've had many conversations with the Greenville Utilities Commission, and so we understand that the cost of water might go up, 3 cents per, is it per 1,000 gallons or 5,000 gallons, whatever. But so it's misleading to say that we're passing along an increase, that it's not much more than what is necessary. Like, we could pass along a 6% increase, which we did last year and the year before for our water rates, but a 1% increase would have more than covered the cost of the actual water. So I just want to make sure, I understand it's easy to throw these things out and make it sound like, oh, we're just passing along this increase, we have no choice. We do have some choice, because within any rate, there are many factors within it, obviously. And so, it's very complicated, but I just want to make sure that we all understand that, passing along, so what we're saying that we have increased, that these different ones, but say just like the water, so, suggesting a 14% increase, that's going to go way above and beyond what is actually necessary to cover the actual cost of the water. So I just want to make sure everyone understands that.
Hold on.
May I
Hold on.
address that?
You do get to be questioned here, okay? Could everybody here see you okay?
Here.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
She gets
David, do you
loud.
I'm going to give David an opportunity to address this, and I want you to hold on to your notes, because I may come back to get you to say something you said.
GUC contacts us every year, since I don't have the email in front of me, I didn't know this was going to be an issue, but sends a request every year and tells us what our rate is going to be, our wholesale rate from them. I'm not sure where you got 3 cents, but it was 10%.
No, this was not just this year, but I've called and talked to someone at Greenville Utilities Commission for several years in a row. I have not talked about this one, but it was 3 cents,
No, it's never as low as 3 cents.
Okay,
It's always been anywhere from 5 to 10% over the last several years.
Well, now, how many cents did you say?
I'd have to go back and look, but it's, our rate is $2 and I can't remember the exact rate, but it's about 28 cents per 1,000 gallons. But you think about how many hundreds of thousands we purchase from
Okay,
them.
how much did it go up when we had that initial agreement that it went up, every year for 5 years? How much did it go up? 10 cents every year for this?
The first few years, it went up 10 cents per
Yeah,
thousand.
up 10 cents, right?
But that only happened for 3 years. Then after that, it went to the CPI.
And then, anyway, I thought, I haven't really checked my notes for this. I thought it was like an agreement that for 5 years it did that. So then it went up 10 cents, and is it per 1,000 gallons or 5,000 gallons?
That's per 1,000 gallons.
Okay, per 1,000 gallons.
It didn't go up 5 cents. It went up, it's percentage. It's a percentage increase.
Okay.
And this year is 10%.
Yeah, well, the person at the Greenville Utilities Commission I've talked to these people who are managers there many times, and so I.
And their name is somebody?
And I
Is that their name, somebody? What was their name, Celia?
I'll be glad to.
Hold on, I'm not gonna argue with you. You said truth and honesty. Give me a name.
Okay, well, I don't have it.
Oh, you don't have it, okay.
Okay, so are you suggesting that I'm lying?
No, I'm not suggesting you're lying, but I would appreciate it if you'd let us get a word in. That'd mean an awful lot. Okay?
Okay, we pass on the call, and I've got the email. I'll be glad to send it to you. See, all you have to do is ask, I'll provide whatever information. Same with the board. I mean, I save all this stuff. But you don't contact me, by the way, just for
No,
the record.
I have tried contacting you and you've given
You've
me
never-
misleading information, but I don't
Oh,
think
for
it is
goodness
that.
sakes,
But
now you
anyway,
know better than
okay.
that.
But I'm just telling you that the Greenville Utilities Commission, I have talked with the manager there. I honestly do not remember his name. I could easily get it.
It's not important.
But anyway, but he has told me, the few years that I've called, he's told me a number of cents per 1,000 gallons, that their cost of water that they passed on to us as a wholesale amount, you know, that it was 10 cents per 1,000 gallons or something like that. So I don't know why there's this discrepancy.
Well,
Yeah.
it is so many cents, but it translates into a percentage increase.
Yes,
I mean,
it can
but it's not like 5 cents or 10 cents, it's quite a bit.
I
more
think
than
where Celia's misunderstanding comes from, and I think, Brian, I'm not gonna put you guys in the middle of this. I'm just gonna bring it to a close.
But let me just
Go
mention one
ahead.
other thing.
Maybe you'll address it.
Well, the cost of providing water service is not just our wholesale rate. That's part of it. But we have to maintain our lines. We have to, you got all this elevated storage. We have to pay our salaries and everything. So operations, we have to pay for operations. So it's not just the cost that we pay for their water. I mean, we have other expenses, obviously. Same with electric, sewer, and as far as GFL, that is a straight increase based on their CPI, which is in their contract, so.
Yeah, no, I absolutely understand about the other costs. So.
Thank you for clearing that up, David. Anybody else got anything? Anybody else? This is a public hearing. Anyone like to speak to the board, you're more than welcome at this time. Anyone else that would like to speak to the board? Seeing none, I'll close this public hearing. Are there questions, comments, or motions? Questions, comments, or motions?
Are you looking for a motion?
I'm looking for a motion, yes.
Make a motion that we accept, or go ahead, Dr. Hobbs. No. Okay. I make a motion that we accept the budget as presented to us. Is that what we're asking for, Mayor?
Yes, what I'm asking for.
Okay. I make a motion that we accept the budget as presented to us on this day.
Could I just clarify to approve the budget ordinance as presented? It's in your packet.
I'll make a motion that we approve the budget ordinance as presented.
This is one of those things I'd like to have a second on, as only, as normally we just get one motion. I'd like to have a second on this. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Commissioner Smith has seconded the motion. Board, you've heard the motion. Is there any discussion? Commissioner Dixon, I'll go to you. All in favor say aye. I'll go to you first. Commissioner Dixon? Aye. Board, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Thank you for that, David. Donna, I want to thank you for what you've done to follow this budget and post it and let people know what we're doing. It means an awful lot. Thank you for that. This public hearing is now closed. That brings us to the second public hearing. David, I think you've got this. And it's ordinance to amend Chapter 157 of the Code of Ordinance to add mini storages as permitted use to the highway business, light industry, and the industrial zone district. This is a public hearing. David, you are the presenter.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of the board. This is a zoning text amendment requesting that mini storage be added as a permitted use in highway business, industrial, and light industrial zone. The term mini storage does not appear anywhere in our zoning ordinance currently. This is really a clarification. It's typically found in other ordinances in other communities in industrial and sort of highway commercial zoning categories, where there's easy highway access, things like that. So this would, if approved, add mini storage as a permitted use in, as I mentioned, the highway business, light industrial, and industrial districts to clarify that use as a permitted use. It is similar to other storage uses and other warehousing, things like that are already in there, but we just wanted to clarify. The planning board did consider this amendment and voted unanimously to recommend that it be approved by the board of commissioners.
Commissioner Dixon, do you have any questions?
No, sir.
The board, anybody on the board with a question? Anybody on the board? Seeing none, if this is the public hearing, I now declare it open. Anybody wishing to speak on the ordinance amendment, chapter 157 of the code? Anyone wishing to address this? Anybody wishing to speak? Anyone? Anyone wishing to speak?
And I want to understand, when we're talking about a zoning for Marlboro Road, and we're talking about mini storage, what does that mean for the residents or the people that live on Marlboro Road?
I'm not sure. Could you give your name and for the camera so in case we need to come back? Please.
These wheels.
Okay. Could you restate the question, please?
What I'm asking you, what does it mean for the people living on Marlboro Road, building a mini storage unit? Where is it going to be located? Or
Okay, I got you.
That's what I want.
Okay, David, you want that or do you?
Mayor, that's really more, this is just a text amendment. That would really be more appropriate with the very next item when we get to the actual rezoning of the property.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, it's a good question. It just needs to come.
It's going to come out of item number 3.
Right, it's the next item.
Yeah, that's why I didn't understand. I apologize. Okay, I didn't understand. That's item number 3. Anybody else wishing to address item number 2? Seeing none, are there any questions, comments, or motions from the board?
I will make a motion that we amend chapter 157 of the Code of Ordinances to add mini storages as a permitted use.
Board, you've heard the motion from Commissioner Smith.
You need to close the public hearing.
Oh, I'm sorry, I thought I did. Okay, I now declare this public hearing closed. You've heard the motion. Board, you've heard Commissioner Smith's motion. Any discussion? All in favor, I go to Commissioner Dixon. Aye. Board, all in favor say aye. Aye. The ayes have it. Okay. Any opposed? None opposed. Okay, item number 3. David, you're the presenter on this. Now declare this current public hearing closed. We now will have a public hearing on an ordinance to amend Chapter 157, Code of Ordinance to change the official zone map of Town of Farmville, rezoning parcel 87946 located at 40616. Isn't that Rackley Street?
It's Ratley Road.
Ratley Road, okay.
Mr. May actually called me today and clarified that.
Okay.
I think I said street, but he actually corrected me and said it was Ratley Road.
Right.
So.
It's at the intersection of West Marlboro Road and Industrial District ID, Highway Business District HBD. The town manager is the presenter on this.
Okay, so this property is on West Marlboro. It's located on the corner essentially of Ratley Road and East Marlboro Road. The petitioner is Toddy Group LLC, and the parcel is about 2.26 acres, all one parcel, but it has actually a split zoning right now. The front part has the Mosquito Authority office, and Roof Max, I believe, is the other company or other name operating out of there. The front part has existing building. It is zoned Highway Business District. The rear part includes a vacant lot and a small storage building, and that's zoned Industrial District. So the property is bounded on 3 sides by industrial, one side being the business across the street, our highway business, that's across from Allen's Body Shop, Farmville Auction, those businesses over there. It's in between Growmark Distribution Center and Hexacone, so that sort of gives you a point of reference there. And then in the rear, it's just vacant property across the railroad tracks. The applicant has asked that the entire parcel be changed to Highway Business District. It's been determined that that zoning is compatible with adjacent uses. It's actually less intensive than adjacent industrial uses. There's been mention of mini storage. Of course, it was referenced in the last item. I will point out that you're not zoning it for just mini storage. If you change the zoning, it would be anything that's permitted in highway business could go there. But right now, it's industrial, and you have a lot more intense uses that could go there under the current zoning than there would be with highway business. But the owners have indicated that they want to build mini storage on the lot in the back and operate there. And of course, it's been duly advertised. I've had one call about it today that was, I'm not sure if I talked, did I talk with you earlier today? Okay, I thought I did. And so the planning board did consider it at their meeting and voted to approve or recommend approval of the request unanimously.
David, were you able to answer the previous question?
As far as what it means for the folks in that area, the immediate neighbors are businesses and industries. I'm not sure specifically where your home is or where you are in relation to the property that is being asked about. I mean, okay. So you're over there near the body shop and some of those other businesses. Okay. The actual mini storage use is proposed, if you know where the business is up front, where the Mosquito Authority office is, the existing business. I think it used to be an oil company or something there.
Could have been.
Okay. They're in that front building. Behind that, if you go away from Marlboro Road, is a vacant piece of land across from the side of, or the rear of Grove or whatever that company is there. And then all the way to the rear of the property is just an old building that's just been used for storage, I believe, or it may even be vacant. The mini storage they want to build would be behind would not front on Marlboro Road, but be behind the existing building on Marlboro Road.
Denise, did that clear that up? Do you have a follow-up?
Yes and no.
Come up so we can, Denise, would you come up so we could hear you a little better? It's not as easy to hear that far back as one would think.
I probably need to do the follow-up one-on-one. I probably need to do the follow-up one-on-one. But yeah, I still do have some questions for that station. Are we saying that it has been approved and that they will be building?
No, ma'am, that's what we're here to do tonight.
Okay, so tonight, you're gonna decide yes or no as to whether they build storage.
Yes, ma'am. So you take all the time you need to ask all the questions you would like.
I'm sorry, just to clarify,
Am I the only person that has asked about this or a person that lives in that area?
yes, ma'am, the only one is who I've talked to, yes, ma'am. Now, again, the zoning district allows a lot more than just mini storage. It's just the owners have indicated that's what they want to do. But in essence, they could do some other things too. But you're talking about business type uses, whereas right now, what's back there is industrial. They could put another hexagon or something like that back there, which would be more intense than, say, a mini storage facility.
How does that affect the tax and all of that?
It would not affect your taxes. It wouldn't affect it. It'd just be, you might see, coming out of that road, you might see a little bit more traffic, but whatever traffic, you people that have, rent these storage units, they'd have to go and put things in or get things out or whatever, but I don't know that it really is. It would increase traffic on Ratley, I'm sure, but they would just come back out on Marlboro and then go down. You're probably not going to notice it being right on that main road. if that makes sense. I mean,
Is that all?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Anyone else like to speak to the board on this matter? This is a public hearing. Anyone else? Seeing none, I'll close this public hearing. Board, we're now open for questions, comments, or motions.
I will make a motion that we approve the rezoning of that parcel to allow the mini storage added to our wording on our ordinance.
Board, you have heard the motion.
Mayor, since mini storage is not specifically being asked for, even though that's what they have said, you really would be voting to rezone the property to highway business district and not mention a use.
So you'll want to take that out of the motion. You want to take it out and spin it again?
Yes, I would like to make a motion that we approve the rezoning of this property to highway business district.
Okay, board, you've heard the motion. Is there any discussion? Any discussion? All in favor, Commissioner Dixon? Board?
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. Okay, there we go. All right, that brings us down to item for consent. Board, you've seen this, you've had an opportunity to review, and I think that's where we are, item of consent. Is there a motion that we approve and accept the items of consent?
I move that we approve these items of consent.
Dr. Hobbs has made a motion that we approve the items of consent. Any discussion? All in favor will say aye. Commissioner Dixon? Aye. Board?
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. That brings us down to item K, to discuss, for items for discussion, subdivision for plat at Churchill Square subdivision. David, I think you've got this one.
Yes, thank you, Mayor, members of the board. This is Churchill Square subdivision is proposed on the land bounded by Field Street, Church Street, and Wilson Street. And this, some of you may know it as the Granite Curb property. At one time, there were some Charleston-style homes or something. There was a sign up there for several years for that. Well, this property has been purchased and has been proposed to subdivide for 9 building lots, single-family homes. Everything has been reviewed by engineering and utilities. The planning board did consider it at their last meeting, and the zoning is R5, which allows single-family homes. Average lot size is 11,800 square feet. Largest lot is 19,258 square feet. The smallest lot is 7,285 square feet. All the lots meet minimum lot dimensions. DOT driveway access is required on Wilson Street because that is a state road, but the other streets are governed by the town of Farmville. No new streets or utility maintenance extensions are proposed, and so the planning board did consider and recommended unanimously recommended that the Board of Commissioners approve the subdivision as proposed.
Board, you've heard the town manager requesting to approve the final plats for the Churchill Square subdivision. Any discussion? Seeing none, is there a motion?
I will make a motion that we approve the subdivision plat for Churchill Square subdivision.
Commissioner Smith has made a motion that we approve this. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Commissioner Dixon? Aye. Board? Aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it. That brings us down to item K2, talking about the parks. Diane, you got this, or has David got this?
So one of the things that Mr. Hopkins and Chief Spencer and I have discussed over the previous months is the closing of the parks, just to give us a chance to keep the park safe and avoid any type of vandalism. So Chief Spencer has checked with other towns to see what other towns did for closing the parks. And 9 o'clock actually would probably be one of the later times that we would have compared to other towns. I think 8:30.
Yeah, all the matches don't run about times. 8:30 was the only one that had time. People did the dog or whatever. I pretty much reached out to the
We would just like to ask if everybody would be, in favor of choosing 9 o'clock as the closing time for all parks.
Any questions of Diane?
You're gonna put up signage so that people can see it and know that that's gonna take place. Perfect.
Any comments, any questions? Is there a motion?
I'll make that motion that we approve the closing of our,
Ma'am, this is not an open meeting. No, ma'am, I'm sorry. Sorry.
I
Thank you.
make a motion that we approve the changing to closing our parks at 9 PM with the appropriate signage being erected
Chris, is there, excuse me.
at all of our parks.
Chris, is there anything we need to know that you might add to that, or are we good? Okay. Thank you, sir. We have a motion to accept the closing of all parks at 9 o'clock. Commissioner Elks has made the motion. Any discussion?
I guess the one thing you may want to say is if that will be effective as of what date?
Okay, Diane?
July 1st, if everyone's fine with that.
Can you have signage up by then?
We should be able to, we can, if anything, try to get temporary signs. That way people have enough time to know.
Okay.
We can get something out within by the next week or so, even if it's this temporary.
Okay. Then I will amend my motion that we do this effectively July 1st.
Okay. Board, you have heard is there any discussion on the motion? All in favor say aye. Commissioner Dixon? Aye. Board?
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. Good luck with that.
Thank you,
Okay.
Diane. Thank you for your help.
Thank you. That brings us down to citizen comments. This is where anybody can make a comment about anything you've seen or heard here tonight. In any way, we'll try to address it as best we can. Anybody having a comment? Anybody? Please.
I can clear this one thing up quickly. So I don't know the name of the person with whom I spoke at Greenville Utilities Commission, but I promise that I will give you the name in the next 4 days. But I definitely talked to someone several years in a row. And the person told me that in 2015, we entered an agreement with the Greenville Utility Commission. And we had a starting amount for 1,000 gallons of water, which was a wholesale rate. And it was going to go up by 10 cents per 1,000 gallons. So it started at $1.61, went to $1.71, $1.81, $1.91, and then $2.01. Then at that point, it was going to be whatever that index is. Obviously, that was what was going to, make the change. So then on July 1st, 2020, the Greenville Utilities Commission, this person told me that they were charging the town of Farmville for 14 cents more per 1,000 gallons. And then on July 1st, 2021, their increase was 2.7 cents per 1,000 gallons. So again, I will get the number and the name of the person who told me this. I apologize, I don't have that with me right now.
David, would you follow up on that once you get that information, see if we can't get this cleared up? Sure. I'm not going to ask you, and Brian, I'm not going to ask you to break down the cost of doing business on this. We'll address this issue and we'll leave it at that. Okay, and the sooner we can get this done, I'd like to have it done by the next board meeting, which is the last Monday in this month. I'd appreciate if y'all would expedite that and get that question answered. Anybody else have anything like to add tonight? David, come on down. Robert, come on, sorry. I do that all the time. Sorry.
My name's Robert May. I live at 4668 NC Highway 121 Farmville. I'd just like a clarification on what you just passed by closing the parks at 9 o'clock. Which specific parks? Because if somebody's playing a ball game down there, is that considered a park?
No, not the ball fields, just the parks. Bennett, J.Y. Monk,
I don't know the name of the little park.
RT Monk?
RT Monk, and then the small park that's down at the ball field. That's not considered a park.
Yeah,
though.
it is.
Oh, it is? Okay, so,
I just like clarification, to be sure, because you say ball field, it's not a park.
well, we wouldn't close the ball field because there's big ball games going on. There'll be plenty of lighting and plenty of people down there. It's
Well, I
just,
wanted to be sure, we don't see that.
yeah, it's just our,
To be specific as to what you're talking about. Because, if this gets in a legal situation, you need exactly what you're talking about.
Thank you, Diane.
Thank you.
Would you like to address anything on that?
So with the ball fields, if we do have an event, that's either town sponsored or with the Parks and Recreation, most of our games we're usually out, between like 9 and 15 parking lot. So that would be like an exception, but otherwise, like parks in general, the ball fields are actually in the parks. So if there wasn't a ball game going on, the parks, all the parks would still be for the time.
I just think it's a good idea to clarify exactly what you're defining as a park.
Okay. All right. Anyone else wish to speak?
Mr.
Kathy,
Clark.
would you, Kathy? I'm gonna go right down this way and jump over and come up. Is that okay with y'all? We'll do it that way. You can sit right there, girl.
I'm Kathy Holmes. I'm here for the Farmville Senior Council as well as the community garden. Just wanted to know what you passed as a budget for us, if there was any funds.
There were.
I didn't bring that particular paperwork with me.
That's why
Yeah, you were taken care
I'm
of.
sorry, I didn't even think.
Yeah, if you'll call David tomorrow, he'll give it to you.
Okay.
Okay, and if you, and here again, I guess we'll have all those numbers if there should be any questions on the last Monday. But just give them a call. Get you there.
I've
Okay?
got all that, I just didn't bring it with me.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's why I was here.
Yeah, we normally don't distribute that until after they vote, so I didn't think to bring it here, but I've got that information, I'll be glad to.
So
Yes.
you're saying they're still gonna vote on it? or-
No, they just voted tonight on the budget, it wasn't official until
okay.
that vote, but I'll be glad to I'll send you that information tomorrow.
Anybody else on this side? Denise, just stand up. You've been up here twice tonight. That's enough. Just let me hear you. That's all I'll ask.
My question is there a problem with, and why are the parks being closed at 9 o'clock? Were we having some problems with in the community or something? Or the lighting or what? Well, why would you do that?
I'll ask Diane to address that. Diane? Okay.
There have been some issues with some of our parks of being vandalized. We've actually had one park with graffiti, actually, where it was actually in one of the play sets structures to where a child went in the play set and they looked up. There were some verbiage that we had to get taken care of. There's been some damage to some other parks, basketball courts. Damage to it to where we actually have to see about trying to get it removed. It's not, doing like broken glass, tire marks, people going on the parks with cars.
and Miss Denise, I actually sent her the pictures from the vandalism, and that was at J.Y. Monk Park. So it's, some of them are not as easily seen from the street as possible, and this just gives our police department an opportunity and the chance to make sure that they're all kept safe. Nobody wants their child to go on that next morning and there be drug paraphernalia or broken glass or whatever that they get into. So we're just trying to make it safe for everybody. And usually by 9 o'clock, most people are through at the park and are headed home for bed or for whatever at this point too, so.
All right. Anybody else over here? This side. Start at the back and come forward. Ma'am?
Pretty much clarify what I wanted.
Okay. Thank you very much.
There are plenty of people who use parks for walks in the morning. You said something about closing time, didn't mention an opening time.
Diane, will you address that?
Usually with that, I think with Walker's 6 o'clock, that's usually 5:30, 6 o'clock is when, it's still cool enough in the summertime. And usually if you're out that early, you're getting your exercise in, you're getting your activities in before getting ready to go work or start your day.
Okay, does that help? Okay, anybody else? Any other comments? Anybody? Sir?
The finance director texted me and told me that the guard, for your information, Community Garden got $2,000, Senior Council got $5,000.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. All right. Anybody else have a comment? Anybody else? Okay. That being said, first of all, that little blonde-headed terror y'all saw was my grandson, Ollie, and I thank you for allowing him to run around during that time for the presentation, and I thank you for that, and been an awful lot. And I'll have some closing comments. Brenda, I will start with you. I'll ask the board to let's kind of hold this to about 2 to 3 minutes because tonight's a busy night and a lot of good things are going on in Farmville. And I have another meeting that I would like to attend concerning some things going on in Farmville, if you don't mind.
I would like to thank our town employees for everything that they do all the time. I would like to thank Chief Spencer and Diane for the questions they've answered for me in the last 2 weeks about a bunch of things I had with Parks and Recreation, such as when the splash pad started. I've noticed that living near the splash pad, I've noticed there's a lot of kids out there and some adults. I've seen a lot of adults standing in it as well. And but I thank all of our town employees for everything you do. It means an awful lot to me.
Okay. Commissioner Smith?
No, I echo what Commissioner Elk said, and I just also want to respond to the citizens, particularly Ms. Stone and some of the other people, that our decisions were not taken lightly, and we did study and give a lot of serious consideration to it, and it's hard to do some of the things that we do, but we think we're trying to do the best we can for the town, and we appreciate your understanding. We appreciate your questions because that keeps us working hard. We really do try to make the best decisions for the town of Farmville, and we think that we do. But thank y'all very much. I think we do have a very good board of commissioners, and we work really good together, and we question and we look at each other and say, are we making the best decision? And it's not something that we take lightly, and we very seriously contemplate every decision that we make. Thank you. That's all I have to say.
Ms. Shack?
I think that the town employees and the town is giving the very best that we got. We're trying to make Farmville to be what we would think that you would want it to be. And it might look a little different sometimes, but nevertheless, all you can do is ask people to cooperate and do the things that we need to do to make sure that our town shines.
Okay. Dr. Hobbs?
I just want to add to what's already been said, and that is we do take the budget very seriously, and we strive to be responsible and accountable. And I want you to know that we do value citizen participation and input. You were heard tonight, and the message that you gave to us will be considered and factored in our decision making. I think above all, everyone wants understanding. So when you don't understand what we are doing, we have a responsibility to explain what we're doing, to let you know that we work together to make the best decisions we can for Farmville. So I want to say thank you for your input tonight.
Thank you, Dr. Hobbs. David, thank you for the work on the budget and being able to answer the questions that were asked here tonight, and thank you for that. Chris, thanks for keeping us straight. That's important, and it's always good to be able to go to you on the fly and get some answers. Again, thank you for what you allowed us to do tonight to recognize one of Farmville's leading citizens. That was very important. My cable bill went up so high, I had to cancel it. My cell phone bill is higher than my utility bill. A bottle of water, if you were to get 24 bottles of water, it would cost you $16,000. How many bottles of water did I buy today? A lot of things that we have to do, we have to abide by somebody else's influence, meaning the state of North Carolina, telling us we've got to have 2 months of utilities in the bank. Now, is that right, David? And we went years and never had to do that, and now we do. They told us about the fund balance and how that would have to be, which I think was a great thing, and I appreciate that. But most of all, I appreciate those of you that ask the questions. Just like tonight, when I asked the name of the fella in Greenville, the person in Greenville, we need to find the paper trail on that and see where that starts and trace that down and see where the miscommunication is before that gets out there and it's a misunderstanding. Tonight, there was a person here that came in here and chewed on me for 12 minutes because there was going to be a property tax to pay for something in Farmville, and that's not true. Donna Williams sits right over here. She is the information director for Farmville. She gets it right, she gets it out, and it's always timely of questions that we have that happens in this board here, and we are able to address that, okay? Donna, how do people find that if they want to read what happened here tonight? Where do they find that information?
Well, this is probably, if Ariana doesn't cover it for the newspaper, I'll write the article in the newspaper. I'm also going to start posting.
Absolutely. Thank you. The other thing I'll share with you is that everything we do is recorded, and that's why we ask for names. So if somebody calls and say, what did Mary Ann say, we're able to find it and give you the information. This has been the most transparent board that I've been associated with in my 15 years, and I appreciate the research that you've done. Are we going to have a utility rate increase? There's a study going on to let us know. We reduced them 10% and another 4.1% and held that for what, 7 years, David?
Those were the only changes in the last
Right.
10 years, both reductions. So.
The trash pickup, and let me say this, the folks over at GFL, they do a fantastic job. When they get an increase, they pass that on to us. And a lot of these increases are being driven by the cost of fuel, just like the groceries have gone up. It's being driven to get it to you. Today, the cost of coal doubled. The cost of coal went from 60 some odd dollars to 130 some odd dollars, okay? And that's how they fuel power plants and things. And now they're talking about brownouts, not in North Carolina, but in other states. My gas bill doubled. My natural gas bill doubled. It wasn't anything that the town did. It was what the people above us. We're not like the federal government. We can sit there and print it. And before you get mad and start jumping and making false accusations and attacking the commissioners and the board, take a minute, do a little research and call down and come down and get the right stuff before we get started. Just like Robert did tonight when he said what parks. Clarify that so that we can get the answers for you. This board and this board works very, very hard. We're working hard now on a salary study for the town. We are. We really are. And this board has brought Farmville, and I'm thinking I'm going to quote Commissioner Shack on this. This board has been doing what boards before us should have done years ago. Did I get that right? And I'm more than impressed with the building permits and the housing that is going on in Farmville. And that, to me, is a very, very big deal of what we're doing. And that's where you and I and everybody in this town should be glad. And as you said today, we still have to work on affordable housing, and we will. I thank you tonight again for allowing Ollie to run around here, and that's spelled O-L-L-I-E, for those of you that are keeping up. And he's 2 years old, and he loves his granddaddy, and thank you for letting him run wild. Is there anything else that needs to be said tonight? Jamin, do you have anything?
No, sir, thank you for letting me be a part.
Yes, sir. Is there a motion we adjourn?
I move that we adjourn.
Commissioner Hobbs made a motion we adjourn. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any discussion? Thank y'all for being here tonight, and thank you so much for the input.